the mother tree of poetry herself, Natalie the Poetess Stewart. Now, coming up, we are about to get into the Wawa Collective, who was on my switchboard just a minute ago, and they just magically disappeared. I'm going to guess that they'll be calling back in. Again, it is 9:15 London time. And there, see, speak it and it shall be. So let's get into the super duper fly, super duper soulness of the Wawa Collective. Let's go. Hello, my dears.
Yes. Hello, Tiffany. Yes.
Hello. Tell the people who you are.
Yeah, well, this is the Elusive from the Wawa Collective, just one member of the group here in London on the Epiphany House show, and it's a good feeling to be on the show. I was listening to the show just now with you speaking to the other Poetry members, and it's a good vibe you're going with.
Yeah, Natalie, she's the mother tree. That's what we're going to call her from now on. You know, we, as poets, we completely and utterly adore her. Adore her. She can do no wrong, and I respect her for being so truthful and honest about the poetry stuff. And, you know, that's that. And so, welcome to the show, Wawa Collective. First time I came across that name, I was like, they gotta be funky. They gotta be funky.
We tried to be. We tried to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are. You are.
Yeah.
Tell the people about the evolution of the Wawa Collective, who the Wawa Collective are, and what it is that you do. And there's been a little gap since your last joint that you dropped, and now the new stuff. Tell the people who you are.
Yeah, I'll go into it. I mean, the Wawa right now is what we call an eclectic soul band. So we kind of like use different types of genres of music, but all under the idea of soul. So as you know, if you've been hearing our music, we're going to have different types of, from Latin overtones to contemporary jazz to even a little bit of electronica, but the underlying tone is that we're trying to express soul music. And our history is that we've been around for quite a bit, but we've been around for around 10 years actually. And we originated in London, and we first of all put out vinyl-only releases, which were acid jazz and some Latin and more dance-orientated 12-inch vinyls, and some of them are still floating around now. And we did have a break. We had a break of quite a few years, you know, getting on with our lives and stuff. And so we've come back again in, say, the last 18 months, slowly building momentum again in the UK. And with the album has just recently dropped, and that's Cry Baby Soul. And Cry Baby Soul is, the actual name comes from the wah-wah pedal, Cry Baby wah-wah pedal. So it's, the reason why it's named that is because the wah-wah sound, which is the Fender Rhodes Mark II, for those funky dudes on the keyboards who know about that, it's predominant throughout our album. And so we've always been known as the Wawa Collective. And we're about, you know, different genres of music, expressing it in our way as the Wawa.
Yes, and I love that you broke it down about the crybaby. People who are not musicians or have never been in a studio, they don't understand that, but I grew up with that. So I totally know that application, and I appreciate it.
Exactly.
You know, that all things funky. You know what I mean? If y'all don't know, I mean, you know, when people think, you know, sometimes when you say the word funk, they might think, Parliament.
When I usually hear the word funk, well, let's say most people, when they say the word funk, you're either thinking the James Brown funk, or you're thinking the P-funk. You know, but
the P-funk,
I mean,
genres of funk.
Yeah, exactly.
But so, that's not all.
And so
funky to me is like Sly Stone funky. Y'all are like that kind of funky.
Yeah. No, Sly Stone is, definitely. Or Rotary Connection, something like that. So,
sure.
but I definitely hear you. I mean, I would say the wah-wah, we deal with the funk, but through the Fender sound, but it's more lean towards the soul than the funk. But we do experiment, and we're very experimental, and that's something I think is unique about the wah-wah. And as you probably know, just going through some of the songs, that they're completely different types of songs.
They are like night and day.
Yes.
They are
but
really
all
like night
under the
and day.
wah-wah banner. Yeah.
Yes. You still keep it, tight enough. You know what I mean? You're not like, let me do this, let me do that, let me show you how I can do this, that is the problem with too many artists. I will say that they are too busy trying to show everything that they can do.
Yeah, that is one of the things with the wah-wah, because the band, we're all songwriters, and we all make music, so the diversity has to be expressed musically. So, for example, Tell Me Why, which is a song you've got there, that's new. Yeah, that's cool. That's like new, what we call new jazz, and that's with a singer Fiona Fay, based in here in London, in the UK, in Birmingham. And that's just a jazz-oriented song. But compare that to Gordo, which is got a Latin overtones. It's a completely different type of music. But it's a way of expressing what we are as the wah-wah, and that's why we're collective. And so, and I think people out there, especially in the West Coast, who are hearing myself for a while for the first time, you're listening to. We're trying to be different. We're trying to put different genres out in a way that is attractive and soulful, and we're not making music for the mainstream. Some of our songs are orientated that could be picked up and perceived that way, but some of our other songs aren't. And we're more about expressing different ideas in the music and seeing how people react to it.
Well, I would like to introduce the people to you all in the manner in which I was introduced with, which is a track called "You Are Somebody." So I'd like to introduce. I want to kick it off with that. So y'all are at Epiphany's House, where artists meet, of course, here on Blog Talk Radio every Sunday, 12 Pacific, 2 Central, 3 Eastern. I appreciate y'all riding with me for 7 years. Can you believe it? Damn. All right, so here we go. You Are Somebody is the name of the track. The Wah-Wah Collective ain't no joke. Dig it. Yeah, I think I'll keep that one.
Thanks. I mean, obviously people know about the speech. That's obviously Jesse Jackson from the Pack. So, and I mean, as a group, we put that out there pretty early. That's actually a free track, and you can find that on the Twitter account, on the Wawa Twitter account, and so I'm
well, there's two Wawa Twitter accounts. There's two.
We've got two. We'll speak about that. Why there's two? That's another story. But
well, I'm gonna pull up the links right now for the people.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks a lot. But so anyone out there, I mean, that's free. You can just go over and download that. But the idea of that song was really, it's an inspirational song. The full name is You Are Somebody, Internal Inspiration. And every once in a while, it's one of them songs, you get up in the morning, you just need something to give you a little energy. That's what the purpose of the song is for people to know and recognize that everyone out here is important, no matter what you're doing, where you're coming from. And so every once in a while, you need something out there to be a song to inspire. And so that's the idea behind that.
So, Cry Baby Soul is available on iTunes and Amazon, but my question to you, and this is a big one. You ready?
Yes.
Are you going to release it on vinyl?
Well, we actually have some vinyl out there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we do. A lot of the songs
I want it.
A lot of the songs from the Wawa album are actually on vinyl. I mean, I can even say one or two. There's actually a place in San Diego that's selling the records. So for any West Coasters out there,
that's like 500 miles away, but that's okay.
Oh, funny. Yeah, but
San Diego is like 10 hours away from San Francisco. People, it's not down the street.
But you can get it through get it on the U.S. Post and stuff. But there are a couple of stores out there in the States that are selling it, but it's in specialist stores. So I'm not too sure in the San Francisco area of where it is. It is in specialist stores in the States already. So there's a place in San Diego called Gem.com and Groove Distribution. They do a lot of UK vinyl distribution, and they're based in Chicago, and they have.
I wonder if Amoeba has it. Amoeba Music might have it. Yeah, Amoeba might have it. I mean, here in San Francisco, go ahead.
Yeah, go on. I'm not.
Sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm going to touch, so say it.
Okay, no, I was going to say, I'm not too sure about the distribution channels of the material, so I mean, I'll speak to the label, but I know definitely in Chicago and in San Diego, there's a couple of stores there. So I'm assuming if they've got it, then probably in LA and probably in San Francisco, places like in specialist stores, they may have the Tell Me Why EP, which has a few songs. It has Gordo, Tell Me Why, there's another song called Crying Eyes. These are all on vinyl, and they're out there.
Yeah.
Now
that being said, you should mention that. I'm about to play that track.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm about to play. So the Elusive is here, and might I say, dope name. I love it. But the Wawa Collective is who he is representing, because he is them, they are him, and this is Tell Me Why. Check it out.
Waiting
Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Y'all are doing some kind of wonderful, something so needed.
Thanks a lot.
So needed.
Tell me why. Tell me why. That's a song. It's one of our favorites. And that's with Fiona Faye. She's a singer over here in the UK and a jazz-based singer. So it was good making that song. And that's Giorgio on the keyboards and. Basically, that's one of our songs which is out. That's on the vinyl I mentioned earlier, but that's a song that a lot of people do like that song. It's good, and it's really appreciated that you're playing that song and checking us out.
I love it. It was easy to do. And let me tell you something. I'm a cratehead. Everybody knows this. I like shit that's off the beaten path. I will find that on vinyl. There's a spot here in Mill Valley near San Francisco that is like a DJ paradise. I'm not going to say what it is, because if y'all don't know, I ain't going to tell you. I can't give away all my secrets. But I bet you I will find that album on vinyl there. I'll find all your B-sides, too, Elizabeth. I'll find everything. When are y'all coming to the States? Are y'all coming to the States to do a little something for the people here?
I would say it really depends on how well the album is picked up and if there's love there, the band will talk.
You need to talk to Natalie because she's about to tour. Maybe y'all could tour together.
Well, you never know. Well, there's a funny story. Giorgio, who's one of the producers in the Wawa. I'm not too sure what member of Poetry, but he used to know one of them. So if Natalie's even hearing this interview now, that Giorgio, he about 10 years ago, I think he used to know or be friends with one of them, but I'm not sure.
It's probably about Natalie. Natalie's the nice one.
Okay.
I dare say.
Okay, well, I don't know, but but no, like I was saying when we spoke before, groups like Poetry, back in say about 10 years ago, they were kind of like one of the cool groups of the UK, but were like they went out there and they did make some moves, and so it's really good to actually hear. I heard the interviews, and it's good to hear her back, with her own solo material. But Poetry. And there's a few other bands in the UK, but the UK machine didn't, I feel, give them the props that they deserve. So it's really good to hear new material.
Yes, it's really interesting. They spend a lot of time in Philadelphia, which is, the Roots, Jill Scott, Ursula Rucker, doing a lot of stuff with the Roots, and that's like a hub. And she's also very good. This is one thing people don't understand with artists. A lot of artists, they don't value their following. And if they do, like I've always said, I find it ridiculous that Erykah Badu charges people to take a picture with her. It breaks my heart in a million pieces.
I didn't even know that.
Well, you do now. I know. I find that shameful. I find that shameful because here in the States, the average price to go to a concert is $60 and up. $60. If it's an arena, you're going to get a really crappy seat. If it's a small club, you'll get a good seat. But you're going to pay, because like Prince was here last week. He did all these like surprise shows, and they were $200 a pop. So you're going to pay $200 to see the artist, and then you manage to somehow, be in the position to meet them and want to take a picture. What do you, hand over $10? How does that work? How do you do that with class? I don't really get that. And one thing I can say about Natalie, because I have met her, I have seen her, there was a line of people outside that club in a storm, and she sat there with every single person and spoke to everyone. She wasn't behind a desk signing autographs. She was at a table inviting people to come and sit with her. People don't understand the value of that. When your audience and your fan base loves you, they'll travel with you. I was interested to say, because I know you all took a sabbatical and in return, you all got something kind of special going on, and I really think people connect with what you do, and that's really important. And the diversity in your music is outstanding. And y'all will hear that when I play the next track.
Yeah, well, I will say, I hope that, you've heard a lot of our music, and also I'm pretty sure you've known about us for a while. So some people listening to this show, this may be the first time they've heard of the Wawa, but you were on the ball from the beginning of when we came back, so that's really good. But I think a lot of people eventually, if once they get that Crybaby Soul album, they'll see the full scope of what the Wawa is doing, and we're doing something a little bit different from most people out there. And I think, obviously they've heard just now Tell Me Why, but there's other songs on the album that are completely different, but all under the Fender Rhodes Crybaby Soul banner. And it's, for us as a group, it's a very good and fulfilling project we've just done, and we know it's a bit special, and we're just hoping that people give it a shot and look into the Crybaby Soul project.
I suspect you all are going to get picked up by a TV show, or I can see that in your future. There's all these television shows that are real, and dare I say, reality shows that make artists' music really popular. I don't know if you all get a show on MTV called Catfish in the UK. I don't know if you know that show, but...
Well, we probably do. The truth is, UK TV and the US TV is very, it's very, very close. You'll be surprised what we get. We get basically the best of what the US TV has to put out there, and we usually get it maybe a day later. So,
this is a reality show, and they play a lot of music on it. And when they play it on the bottom of the screen, it would say, "Tell Me Why," the Wawa Collective. Even during the show, which I think is a really cool marketing scheme.
That's cool.
I could see that happen. Did you say one of the members of Wawa works with the BBC and does music for television shows out of the BBC?
I'll break that down. I'll break down the Wawa members. The guy I was talking about there is Matthew Carcenti, and he works on music projects for the BBC, and he's involved in literally the music for their television shows or TV dramas. He does the music and film score stuff. So that's Matthew. Giorgio, he's actually a professional photographer as well, but he's like he's probably the spine producer of the Wawa, and like I said before, in the past he's worked with, I'm sure he's either worked or he's friends with or knows of one of the Flowetry members, and also I think Nadine Davenport, one of the first vocals of Granny Heavies.
She is the only vocalist of the Granny Heavies. Nobody else can. Nobody else can. If you ain't Nadine Davenport, you ain't really the singer in the Granny Heavies.
Yeah, Jules did work with her quite a few years ago. So, and as for myself, my background is obviously outside the songwriting and producing stuff. I worked in the music industry in the UK, but for basically rock labels and management. So I was working.
You were the Iron Maiden, the Scorpion.
Yeah, I did stuff. Yeah, quite a few. I was going to Iron Maiden.
I love that.
Project for them. So all different. And Daniel Lorenzi's a model. Daniel Lorenzi's a model, and she does a lot of the catwalk stuff in the UK here. So all of us together are like the core of the Wawa. But we work with different artists like Fiona Fay on Tell Me Why, and another artist we worked with was Abdul Shalon, who did some work with a guy in the West Coast called Mark the Clive Lowe, and he did a vocalist on his early albums. So other guys, we do this. We work with. I've worked with some X Factor, UK TV X Factor artists. So and actually on the Crybaby Soul album, there's a song called Conceptual Love that was what I put together with a singer who was on the UK X Factor. We've got to say UK because every country has so many different versions. You still get
well, you know,
up,
X Factor is not popular in the United States. It is not
okay, so I can...
American Idol is popular, and The Voice. Those are what's popular here, yeah. So I think it's because people here, Americans don't like Simon Cowell.
Oh, is it? I thought you... See, I mean, in the UK, we...
Americans do not like him. They do not like him. No. When he was on American Idol, he was always a big asshole. Nobody liked him. You know, blah 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 blah. They always liked Randy Jackson, and yeah, it was, you know. And might I say, just for the record, y'all, I have never watched American Idol, and I probably never will, even though Harry Connick Jr. is a a host. A judge. God, I can't think. I love me some Harry Connick Jr., but I'd rather go to a concert. I just cannot. I just don't believe in having a show that fosters the machine. You know what I mean? That's what
I hear you. Yeah.
It's fostering the machine. It's not saying, you know, get a group, practice in a band, in a garage like most of us did. You know what I mean? No, you're going to line up because you just want to be famous. There's a difference. Are you an act or are you an artist? That was what Fonte said last week. Are you an act? And he said, that's cool if you're either, but recognize and commit to what it is that you are. Are you an act or are you an artist?
No, I agree. I agree.
I really love that everybody in your collective, even though you all do music, you said this person does this and this person does that. Everybody does something that's still in the creative arts.
And we bring that to the table. We bring a bit of that to the table with our music. That's why it's so diverse, you know. But what you were just saying there about being an act and being an artist, it's so true. It's so true. I mean, the machine is it's really what I was saying, a Wawa brand. Doing this kind of diverse approach to music, having a Latin song, having a jazz song, having a dance electro song, having that different balance within one album. It's not really something that the mainstream is going to pick up and place somewhere properly. So we know that, but we're here for the music, you know. So we're more about the music than anything. So that's why we're more about expressing and letting people see the music. And the Crying Soul is an album thing. It's not one song. Once you digest the whole album, then you're going to realize, they're trying to do something.
So the concept, would you say it's a conceptual album from top to bottom?
It is a concept album. I mean, the first 25, the album goes for about an hour and a bit. The first 25 minutes is predominantly new stuff, and it sways into the Latin flavors. We've got quite a few Latin dance. I would call commercial Latin in the sense of, not commercial in the sense of being pop, but commercial in the sense of it's Latin overtones. So, and then it goes into electro, by electronica, and there's an oriental theme towards the end of the album, and then it goes back into like R&B new soul, like with Conceptual Love. So, and that's why I'm trying to, on this, speaking to Epiphany, and as you're an artist yourself, you know about the craft of trying to put together an album, and you know, so
and it is an art.
It is an art.
There's an art to track listings and, you know, like when I did The Alchemist, it was a whole concept from top to bottom. I started the album with an instrumental, and I ended it with an instrumental, which was unheard of for a poet. You know what I mean? That the first track you heard didn't even have me on it. I'm going to go ahead and play another track of y'all. I'm going to hook the people up with Pure Love, because I want them to get a little bit, we have 10 minutes remaining, but I want them to hear the album. It's very, very important that you all support good music, pure music, true art. This is the Wawa Collective, Pure Love. Get at it, y'all. that was quite the opus.
Yeah, that's Pure Love with Sabrina Jarrett Soul. Matthew Carcenti, he wrote that. So, but yeah, I mean, that's more jazz. And, but yeah, we're trying, we're trying to put different things out there, So, it's just the Crybaby Soul project, and it's hopefully people out there will hear it and take it on board and just enjoy a UK band trying to do something different.
Yes, and people always say there's not any good music out there anymore. Yes, there is. It's just not going to always show up at your doorstep. The ribbon. Sometimes you got to seek it out.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the channels. There is the channels to find good music are still. That's what's happened. The channels to find them are is getting harder. Because of saturation in, say, the internet. I mean, you'd have to search a little bit maybe on YouTube or on blog radio or on blog sites to find it, but there is still quality music, and there's quality music in soul, like new soul. I think you were earlier in the show, you were talking about someone else. The other singer wrote about neo soul being dead or something like that, and one of her.
Oh, Natalie was saying Marsha. Yeah. Marsha said that she didn't want to associate herself with that.
Yeah, I know. It's not really. It never will be really. It's just the avenues to find it are being a bit more thinner. There's loads of new soul artists in the States and in the UK. UK has still got a good soul movement. It's just to find it, the avenues. That's all it is.
Right, if you rely on radio to feed you, then you're going to starve. I've not listened to the radio in like 10 years. I really haven't. I have a clear understanding that most of the people I really, really love will not be played on the radio anyway, and it annoys me. I'll listen to satellite radio, because satellite radio I can go to the polls.
Digital radio still got it, like your show. Your show still has it. You still find artists, you still speak to them, and that's really positive. I would say obviously the mainstreamer, and obviously in the States, it would be hard to get into a clear channel related station, isn't it? So it's those kind. So it's going to be hard to to get into clear channel based stations. So, but people like you are keeping that torch alive. So people like yourself are keeping that torch alive for opportunities for bands. Local bands even in the West Coast, but also the other side of the world in London, England. So it's positive. As long as people like you guys are out there, there's always a chance for new music to be heard and respected.
Well, amen and pass the peas, and I'm so glad to be part of a little bit of time to come through my show. May I say thank you, and you are welcome here any old time. Any old time.
That's cool.
Will you come back?
That's cool. Yeah, definitely. Before the show, I would just like to give a shout out to a couple of guys, Stan Linden III over in Philly, and Curtis Scarborough and Neil Scarborough over in Tampa. They're good guys who've always supported the Wild through the years. So while I was on radio, I said I'd give them a shout out.
Well, big love to them. Let me just say thank you to The Elusive from the Wawa Collective. Y'all go get that album, would you? Go get that album, Crybaby Soul. You can get it at Amazon. You can get it at iTunes. Go ahead. Do your thing. Please, big ups to Natalie, the Florist Stewart. Go get